TV News, an immigration bill fails to pass in the Senate, leaving the fate of DACA dreamers in question. Now, the Supreme Court is considering intervening. We'll have the latest.
And a train derailed yesterday just outside of Attica. Find out why authorities are investigating.
And students noticed something was wrong today on the quad. Find out why DPS was notified and how they took care of the problem.
This is Citrus TV News live at 6, your campus news leader.
Mayfest is becoming a bit more festive this year. The Division of Student Experience has announced they will be expanding the music event this spring. I'm Nicole DeMentri.
And I'm Zach Lang. Specifics have not been released, but planners say there will be more food, drinks, and entertainment. The idea came to the organizers after meeting with student groups and realizing they could expand.
Syracuse University's College of Law will be offering a fully interactive online degree program. And Syracuse University students noticed something different today on the quad. The flags flying in front of the chapel were placed incorrectly. Now the American flag is supposed to be the largest, highest, and furthest to the right when grouped with other flags. The LGBTQ flag was the highest today instead. Citrus TV reached out to DPS earlier this afternoon and they were not aware of the situation. We later received a call saying an officer was dispatched to the scene to fix the problem. And the new Title IX officer at Syracuse is a familiar face. Sheila Johnson-Willis has been named Associate Vice President and Title IX officer at SU. Her official appointment came after a national search that attracted applicants from across the country. Now, Willis has served as interim Title IX director for 2 years, and prior she served as the director of Equal Opportunity and Inclusion here at SU.
Syracuse University's College of Law will be offering a fully interactive online law degree program. The online Juris Doctor program will be the first in the nation to combine real-time and self-paced and online on-campus residential classes. The students in the program will be taught by College of Law faculty. The program is scheduled to launch in January 2019.
Valentine's Day. Love is in the air and chew toys are on the ground. That's right, chew toys. Valentine's Day is one of the most popular days of the year for pet owners who want to give a little extra affection on the day of love.
Because they're like, oh, gotta get something for Pookie or something like that.
That's Miranda, the Assistant General Manager of Pet Supplies Plus in Cicero, where the line was out the door on Valentine's Day. Each year, the store hosts an event where people from all over can bring their furry or not so furry friends in for a day of fun. It's not just dogs, it's birds, cats, hamsters, and much more, and this year was a big success.
And they're just so cute, and they're just so excited because they get, like I said, they get the treats and everything, and it's just, they love it. Just the attention and everything that comes with it.
Most of the animals that come in are dogs for the Smooch the Pooch event, where dog owners can take pictures with their loyal companions. The store also brings in rescue dogs for a day of love and treats. Karen Humby works at the store and made some cookies for the event. She says that nothing makes her happier than seeing how happy those dogs get.
Oh my goodness, the dogs that come in, normally the staff will go and just smother them with affection and attention, but even the other customers get really excited to see when people bring their dogs in, and the dogs just love it. They really enjoy coming into the store.
Thanks, Matt. This year alone, people spent a total of $751 million on pets for Valentine's Day.
And with safety being a major point of concern, students and staff were a little more jumpy when the security system at SU was tested today. Citrus TV reporter Brendan Tierney was at the DPS building to tell us exactly what he had to say.
Yeah, thanks, Zach. The Syracuse University community received a wake-up call at exactly 9 o'clock this morning. That's when the university conducted an annual test of its OrangeAlert crisis notification system. Now, the alert's been planned for some time, so students weren't exactly that happy with the early wake-up call.
Yeah, it's definitely necessary to test it, but I think they should move back the time a little bit because, I mean, a lot of kids don't have class on Friday, so, I mean, I could see that being a nuance.
Now, the alarms on both Main and South Campus were activated for only about 10 seconds, but the test did also include a full test of personal emails, text messages, and the phone call system. That included all Syracuse University as well as SUNY ESF students, faculty, and staff. Now, this test has been planned for some time and was not in reaction to the shooting down in Parkland, Florida earlier this week. Syracuse University Media Manager Keith Copeland says safety in our campus community is always of the highest concern to DPS. However, DPS does not discuss any plans or procedures around emergency incidents. Now, if you or anyone you know did not receive an alert this morning or would like to change your contact information, you can do that on My Slice under the Orange Alert tab. Brendan Tierney, Citrus TV News. Zach, back to you.
And thank you for that update, Brendan. I know a lot of students certainly were concerned today. And now the main witness in the corruption trial of 2 executives from CORE finished their testimony today. Todd Howie spoke for more than 40 hours on the stand. He testified that he facilitated $35,000 in bribes from company executives to Joseph Percoco. The reason? Well, the execs did not want to use union workers in their hotel in the Syracuse Inner Harbor. And New York's death toll from flu complications has increased to 5. 2 more children have died on the flu downstate. Lab-confirmed flu cases are up 7% statewide, but the number of people hospitalized from the flu has actually decreased. State law requires all child deaths from the flu to be reported.
You may have to start looking elsewhere for your late-night grocery trips. Wegmans announced that 2 24-hour locations in Syracuse will no longer be open from midnight to 6 a.m. The Onondaga Boulevard and James Street stores will begin their new hours on March 4th. Wegmans says it doesn't plan to change the hours anywhere else for the time being.
And officials at the Syracuse Hancock International Airport are advising passengers to arrive to the airport 2 hours before their scheduled departure time. Now, midwinter recess at local schools will cause increased passenger volume from now through Monday the 19th. Center terminal sections are still closed for construction. And thanks to a Massachusetts nonprofit, the Onondaga County Canine Unit is better protected. Interest in bullet and stab protective vests for the dogs became prevalent over the past few months. An anonymous sponsor funded the vests, which are valued at almost $2,000 a piece. The sheriff's office says the Canine Unit has had a large impact on the fight against heroin here in the Salt City. And New York State authorities are investigating a train derailment. A lead engine caught fire on Thursday in Wyoming County. Officials say about 10 railroad cars came off the rails. 2 people had broken bones, but none of their injuries are considered serious. Authorities say that it could take a couple days to clean everything up. They still don't know what caused the accident.
The Florida school shooting is still resonating across the nation. This morning, 2 upstate New York students threatened to bring guns to school. State police took both students into custody, and Governor Cuomo is calling them copycat actors. He says the state will not tolerate threats of violence in schools, and there is nothing funny about these situations. In New York, Democratic Senator Kirsten Gillibrand is co-sponsoring a bill to federally legalize marijuana. Gillibrand's bill would remove marijuana from the list of controlled substances. This bill would also erase related convictions, and Gillibrand says marijuana restrictions unfairly hurt low-income communities and people of color.
And it certainly was a little warm out today. I know it's going to get cold tonight.
That's right, but luckily we have Jack Watson right here in studio to tell us what to get ready for. Jack?
Very, very warm for Syracuse winter standards, but today we seem to have come back down to earth a little bit with our low of 20 degrees. Those temperatures have been dwindling since Thursday. We do have a small chance of flurries, as we'll see with our radar here. And just a little technical glitch here. And I'll have my full weather forecast for you very soon here on Citrus TV News Live at 6. Our 5-day forecast here on Saturday, 38 degrees. Think today, but a little bit sunnier. And Monday, afternoon rain, 44 degrees the high that day. But Tuesday is really what we're looking at, a 60-degree high and 58 degrees on Wednesday with a possibility for rain.
And it looks like it's feeling like spring, Jack. Thanks for that. And coming up, Hong Kong is ringing in the Lunar New Year in style. We'll tell you just how they celebrate it.
And today, the Supreme Court could say whether it will consider President Trump's DACA appeal. Don't go anywhere.
What are you, superheroes?
Just 4 brothers who hate bullies and love this city. Gear up, guys.
Did you hear about the pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why couldn't the Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where did cats go on vacation? New York.
Come on, it's not that hard.
My big man fingers are having a problem with these little tiny buttons.
Whoa, watch it there. Your blood pressure's gonna go through the roof.
Tell me about it. I'm trying to learn how to get it down. Instead, it keeps going up.
High blood pressure can increase the risk for heart attack or stroke. Learn how to keep yours at a healthy range.
Ever hear a voice command? Just say text barbershop to 97779.
That's not what I said.
Just give me that. Now my blood pressure's up.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
If you see news happening on campus, in Syracuse, or across the nation, call the Citrus TV Newsroom, 315-443-1177, or tweet at Citrus TV News, your campus news leader.
Welcome back to Citrus TV News. The names now of the 17 victims from the shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School Wednesday have been released.
According to the Broward County Sheriff's Department, all of the families who lost loved ones have now been notified.
Among those lost were Nicholas Dwart, a senior who was recruited to swim at the University of Indianapolis next season, and Chris Hickson, the school's athletic director and a former naval reservist.
There's much more that can be done, much more that needs to be done, and much more that people like Marco Rubio and Rick Scott are not doing. And it's scary to think that these are the people who are making our laws when our community just took 17 bullets to the heart. And it feels like the only people who don't care are the people making the laws.
Florida Governor Rick Scott is now calling for the FBI director to resign after failing to investigate a tip about the Florida shooting.
Last month, the FBI received a tip that Nicholas Cruz had, quote, a desire to kill, access to guns, and could be plotting an attack. Agents never followed up.
In the wake of the tragedy, students are calling for stricter gun laws, and Rick Scott is reassuring Floridians that his focus is on protecting children.
Everything's on the table, all right? I'm going to look at every way that we can make sure our kids are safe.
The Supreme Court is speaking behind closed doors today to decide on whether it'll hear a case on DACA.
The Justice Department asked SCOTUS to review a lower court ruling that blocked President Trump's attempt to end DACA.
Now, the move is rare. A federal appeals court has not yet ruled on the case. This comes after the Senate failed to pass a bill to protect Dreamers on Thursday evening.
Now the House will have to decide what they do, if they go first. President will decide, how he approaches it, but it's discouraging, no doubt. We should have been able to do something here.
Protests are continuing in downtown Los Angeles after a series of ICE arrests in the area. Immigrant rights advocates blocked an ICE van from entering a federal detention center.
The protest broke out after ICE arrested over 100 people and gave over 120 businesses audit notices.
ICE is targeting immigrants who they believe are dangerous and in the country illegally.
Russian involvement in the 2016 election is now confirmed. Special counsel Robert Mueller indicted 13 Russian nationals for their involvement in the 2016 election.
The Justice Department says that the individuals pretended to be U.S. citizens and created social media pages to sway American voters, but the DOJ is uncertain if the Russians' actions changed election results.
The indictment claims the meddling began as early as 2014.
And Mitt Romney is re-entering politics. The former Massachusetts governor and Republican presidential nominee announced that he will run for the U.S. Senate in Utah.
Some residents are arguing that he did not have a permanent residence in Utah until 2014.
Romney is known for his financial management of the 2002 Olympics in Salt Lake City. He has not held office since 2007.
And people in Hong Kong are ringing in the new year today. That is the Chinese New Year.
The start of the Lunar New Year marks the beginning of a 15-day festival celebrating the holiday.
More people will travel for the Chinese New Year than any other holiday. It is considered the most important celebration in Chinese culture. 2018 is the year of the dog.
The U.S. and Turkey may be in agreement with regards to Syria. At least U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson thinks so.
Tillerson and the Turkish Foreign Minister Mevlut Kazaglu spoke together today after defeating terrorist organizations in Syria together.
The joint press conference in Ankara was part of Tillerson's trip to Turkey.
Coming up, severe storms in Pennsylvania left damage in its wake. Find out what cleanup efforts are underway.
And months of repair work to a robot arm on the International Space Station wrapped up today. Stay tuned.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate, and it's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
From the Citrus TV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
And welcome back to Citrus TV News Live at 6. Our weather map here showing Syracuse at 30 degrees, Cortland 30 as well, Ithaca 31, Binghamton 32, low 30s throughout the area except out there in Lake Ontario, Rochester, a crisp 29. Right now on the hill we are looking at 30 degrees, clear and dry. But for tomorrow, we're probably looking at most of the same, as we can see with our Saturday day planner here, starting out at 24 degrees, 33 just barely above freezing, and 34 by 6 p.m. Think today, but a little bit more sunny throughout the morning, but as we get to the p.m. hours, it's going to be a greater chance for some clouds to roll in. A chance of snow late tomorrow night as well, as we'll see with this snow development affecting the northeast. Now, coming up through West Virginia here, southern Pennsylvania, all the way up to North Jersey, it has the potential to dump about 6 to 8 inches on New York City as well as parts of downstate New York. And south of us, cleanup crews are on the ground after a tornado caused massive damage in Pennsylvania last night. The storm ripped roofs off of houses, downed power lines, and threw debris across a small Pennsylvania town. 1,100 houses are still without power, and crews are still working to fix the damage caused. Luckily, though, there have been no casualties reported. And looking to the stars tonight, 2 astronauts made their way into space today. An American and Japanese astronaut completed the 3rd spacewalk of the year. As you can see, the astronauts were up finishing repairs on the International Space Station's robot arm. It's used for moving things outside the space station as well as capturing and releasing ships. The spacewalk started at 7 a.m. It was 6 hours long and successful.
Coming up, SU men's basketball is looking for a win in the Sunshine State to keep their NCAA tournament hopes alive. Plus, a thriller in the Dome last night between Cuse and Duke women's b-ball. I'll have the highlights and a full weekend preview on the other side of the break.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day, I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
And now, your Citrus TV Sports Report.
Hello and welcome to sports. I'm Nick Dugan. It's a crucial week for Syracuse men's basketball in terms of the NCAA tournament implications. The Orange squeaked out a win on Sunday against a struggling Wake Forest team, but Jim Boeheim and company took a step back on Wednesday as NC State poured in 7 3-balls in the second half to pick up a win. Now at 6-7 in the ACC, SU needs a win in a big way down in Miami tomorrow afternoon. And sophomore guard Tyus Battle is confident the team can do just that.
They're a good team. They have good guards. We just got to play defense. I think if we play defense the way we're supposed to play it, it's easy offensive buckets, and I don't think we're very tough to beat when that happens.
After the game, tune back into the Orange Television Network to catch Orange Press Pass. Our team will have your highlights, analysis, and post-game reactions from the coaches and players. It all starts at 4 p.m. The SU women grabbed a big come-from-behind win down in Winston-Salem on Sunday, but there is no rest for the weary as Coach Q and company welcomed 17th-ranked Duke to the Dome last night. And Syracuse already took down a ranked Florida State squad back in January. How would they fare against Duke on Thursday? Duke got it started early, however. That's Lexi Brown. She gets the kick out and three-pointer to go. Blue Devils up 13-8, but then just seconds before the closing buzzer of the half, it's Tiana Mangakahia to Amaya Finkley. Cuse goes up in the break 7 points, but in the second half, fourth quarter, it's more Lexi Brown. She gets a layup in transition to go. Blue Devils now lead by 9, but the Orange comes all the way back as Digna Stroutman finds Tiana Mangakahia for the 3. That is good. 68-65. Syracuse is your winner. They take down 17th-ranked Duke. And anyone who predicted SU men's lacrosse to take down Binghamton by 17 last weekend should consider a career change to a professional gambler. A dozen players tallied a goal for the Orange, while the SU faceoff specialists dominated at the X, going 24 of 29. Third-ranked Albany is an entirely different animal. However, Connor Fields and the top freshman in the country, Tahoka Nanticoke, headline not just the Great Dane attack, but a number of preseason All-American lists as well. Last year's contest between the two schools was decided by a single goal, and head coach John Desko knows it could be more of the same come Saturday.
Yeah, I would say so. Albany plays a little different style than a lot of teams we play this time of year. They're pretty wide open, and their face-off guys give them a lot of possessions. So it's, I think it's just an exciting game for lacrosse.
After outscoring RIT 13-1 last weekend, SU women's ice hockey makes its annual trip to, you guessed it, Missouri to take on CHA opponent Lindenwood. The new program points leader Stephanie Grossi and company look to pick up SU's 21st and 22nd victories over the Lions all time in the weekend's series. Puck drop tonight is scheduled for 7 o'clock. And NBA All-Star Weekend also gets going tonight from Los Angeles. Tonight at 9 Eastern, you can catch the Rising Stars game featuring some of the best and brightest in the game. Tomorrow night will feature the three-point contest and a slam dunk contest that will feature 2 rookies, Dennis Smith Jr. and Donovan Mitchell. It all wraps up on Sunday night when Team LeBron takes on Team Steph in the main event. Finally, the United States has had themselves a few good days in Pyeongchang as the 2018 Winter Olympics continue in South Korea. The biggest surprise of Friday, however, came on the slopes. Less than 24 hours after earning gold in the giant slalom, phenom Michaela Schifrin placed 4th in the slalom, which is widely considered to be her best event. The 22-year-old missed the podium by just 0.08 of a second. Still, not too shabby for the Americans. As we take a look at the updated medal count, the U.S. is 5th with 8 total medals, while the Norwegians sit atop the board with a total of 19, with the latest coming in alpine and cross-country skiing.
I like the way that looks.
Yeah, now, Nick, let's go back to that All-Star game. Who you got, Team LeBron or Team Steph?
Well, we all know that Team LeBron is cursed. They've had a couple of players go down with injuries so far, just since the teams have been announced. But you know I'm on Team Steph. I'm a Philly guy. We got Joel Embiid playing for Team Steph on Sunday night, so I'm in their corner.
All right, thank you, Nick. A lot of exciting things this weekend, and stay tuned. Don't go anywhere.
They said a bottle was just a bottle. That no one would ever notice me. But I knew I could be more. That one day, I would make people smile.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Welcome back to Citrus TV News Live at 6 tonight. We bring you your 5-day forecast. Saturday, 38 degrees our high, and some sunshine on Sunday as well with a high of 40 degrees. But Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we see a rain development move in. Afternoon rain on Monday, but with that rain, we get some warm temperatures, 60 degrees on Tuesday, and 58 the high on Wednesday, 31 the low that day, so do watch out for that. I would certainly dress for that on Wednesday.
Some nice spring temperatures we're looking for. I'm looking forward to it. How about you?
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. But now, Jack, with this weather coming up this weekend, do you think winter jackets or sweatshirts?
This weekend I'm saying winter jackets because as we saw, those low temperatures can get below freezing. It might get a little bit cold out there. I would also recommend a hat and gloves as well, maybe even a scarf. But as we get into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 44 degrees, lucky 44, go Qs. We saw a high of 60 degrees on Tuesday as well, and then Wednesday in the 50s, 58 degrees. So that day I would recommend a sweatshirt, maybe even shorts. I'm a shorts guy, so I'll probably be wearing shorts that day.
So has spring come early, or are we thinking snow eventually in the future?
Oh no, I would say that this is probably just an isolated incident of a couple of days, a couple of straight days where we have above freezing temperatures. I would say it's going to dip back down sooner than we think.
All right, well, thank you so much for that. And that's all the time we have for today. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all of our social platforms, for the latest news. I'm Nicole DeMentri.
And I'm Zach Lang. Have a great night, Syracuse.